Unequal refuge, ornament on the world. Your famed privy 3,000 world. You are the victor Vajradhara without doubt. I vow to feed the Father in Jignesumugo. Continually no one but you. Compassionate one, you great blessings. Dispel the darkness and surround my heart. Please bless me that I realize the nature of the mind. Okay, now the short mandala here, directly page 28. Sanje Shinloi Migdiyo Bhuvaji Dhunanda Shinlo Javaisho Kusum Yonzoi Lame Sonam La Chenai Samsum Om Guru Deva Mandala Pradesa. The ground is sprinkled with the scented water and the stream of the flowers. It is adorned with the Meru and the supreme mountain and the four continents and the sun and the moon. As the Buddha felt are offered. May all sentient beings attain the happiness the Buddha felt. To the lamas who pass the three kayas, I offer the outer, inner, and the secret offerings with my body well and all visible. Please grant me the supreme realization, enlightenment. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offering, compassion, rejoicing, blessing, and praying, for the seek the enlightenment, all sentient beings, dedicate. Om Guru Deva
Rana Mandala Bade Soha
Samjan Om Jil Sambho
Loye
Jado Jado
Chejo Domo Debaye
Please twin will of the Dharma of the two vehicle in their combination, according to the disposition, likewise the mental capacity and the sentient beings.
Thank you. Everybody can hear, isn't it? Okay, wonderful. Okay. I see Buddhismo Dikung Tara Chuling. First, please take a deep breath. Inhale fully. And exhale. Once more, please inhale fully. And expand your stomach and chest. And release all the stress. Please exhale. Once more, please inhale fully. And exhale. Okay. So today, our center in Boston, and resident teacher, beloved Lama Sonam, who is working very hard, constantly for many years, and today have asked me to go through some meditation practices. So I'm very happy about this, and I will try my best to share what Buddha taught. So as you know, everywhere now you can see the war, pandemic, conflicts everywhere. It's shared by all the people in the world. More or less, there are some places has more and others less. But everyone shares this experience. Now, because of the modern technologies, the communication is so fast. Everything just, you can hear instantly whatever happens anywhere all over the world. So everybody in the world, in the samsara, we should say in the samsara, in the world, we are within the dimension of the suffering. That suffering is caused by the confusion. Because of the confusion means we're confused to see things, how they functions. Confusion means we just see things artificially. It's called fabricated, contrived, So that, you see, is caused by our mental ignorance. So it's precisely mentioned in the jewel ornament of liberation, right at the beginning, you see, all the phenomena are constituted within two samsara and nirvana. You see, samsara is the nature of the samsara is emptiness, but the mental formation is confusion. The confusion characterized as a suffering. See, very precise. The nature of the nirvana is emptiness, but the confusion is dissipated, purified fully. So the experience is happiness. See, so all what we're studying, what Buddha taught, is how to recognize the confusion, and then how to dispel the confusion itself. So samsara is not exist somewhere outside, but within, within our own mind. As long as when we have this mental confusion based on ignorance, we are oriented to experience the suffering. And those who are free from the confusion, then because of the cause of suffering is absence, not exist. There's no suffering. See? So that you see Buddha's teaching. I repeatedly mentioned this. Buddha taught this teaching over 2,000, about 600 years. Just you can imagine, during these 2,600 years, how much things have changed. The lifestyle is changed. Way of thinking is changed. You can see nowadays it's the age of science, Carl. Because of the science and technologies, everything is changing so fast. Even though everything constitutes, all the phenomena are constitutes within impermanence, but this science and technologies made such a very obvious, clear how things are changing so rapidly. Even though that's the nature, it's changing, but not so obvious for us. Even like say 50 years ago, it's not so obvious. Now it's becoming more obvious, clear, making faster. You want to change so fast. So that's what's happening with us. But we have not, the scientists have not taught us root cause of the suffering. The great scientists, they taught us how all things are constitute of the outer phenomena, the outside world. But they have not taught us our inner mind, how to develop love and compassion and wisdom. The mental ability. Mentally, what are the cause of suffering? Mentally, what are the cause for peace and happiness? They have not taught us. So they have a big project ahead to teach us about these things, you see. But Buddha taught all this. So because of that, I mentioned many times, Buddha's teaching, the Buddhism is not a religion, but is the how thought is a wisdom, how everything constitutes within in the causality. There's, of course, everything is constitutes in the causality, but there's a specific cause for the specific result. You see, one cause is not the cause for everything. Everything what manifesting is based on the individual causes. So it's not just one cause, two causes, there are many causes, many conditions. As you can see, just to make a cup of tea, how much it constitutes. Just investigate, you see. You need to make things, to make a hot water. Then you need a tea, you need a cup, you need a water. All this just to make one cup of tea. How many things is there need? So this called many causes and conditions. So therefore, you see, these are not a belief system, where you believe or somebody. It's not just a concept. It's not just a concept. It's not just a belief, but it is something that which constitutes the causes and conditions. So we need a wisdom to capture this. So that's why we need meditation. Meditation is not some kind of religious training, but it's a method to bring your mind in the right place. Having said the mind, in terms of the mind, see, mind is very complex subject. As I mentioned also, I mentioned many times. It's a very complicated subject. It's there. Everybody have the mind, isn't it? Do you know where's your mind? You see, can you judge your mind? Everybody have the mind for individually. Look at your mind. You in the mind, you want peace and happiness. In the mind, you don't want suffering. But there comes the suffering. Why? Why you cannot control your mind? One moment you like it, but next moment you change it. So you see, but we're not so serious about thinking or knowing this. So the mind is the one that rules our life, that rules whole world. It's there, but it's not there. It's the empty, but it's everything. See? So Buddha, who could fully capture this, realize this, understood this, and everybody shares this, but we don't know about that. But Buddha taught. That's why we're studying, practicing what Buddha taught. Because at the time of Buddha, 2,500 years ago, the people that time, they want peace and happiness. And Buddha taught about that. Now, after 2,500 years, still we want peace and happiness. That doesn't change or have not changed. Do you agree? See, so look at this. So why we need to study Buddha's teaching is because of this, not because of rituals, cultures, monk dance, some melodies, umbrellas, big umbrella on the head, high throne. These are not the Buddhism or Buddha's teaching. They are just culture. Every Buddhist country have different culture, you see, even Buddhist. But the principal message, the Four Noble Truths, is shared by all the Buddhist country. See, the suffering, the cause of suffering, the cessation of the suffering, and the path to the cessation. That the law of the reality nature will never change. Next for thousands and thousands of years will not change, because it's the constitution of the phenomenon, the constitution of the suffering. What it constitutes is samsara, what it constitutes the nirvana, and what's between, how we can understand the constitution of the samsara, how we can achieve the constitution of the nirvana. That's what we need to understand, practice. We just not learn how to chant, how to make the monk dance, how to wear the mask. When you make the monk dance, you wear the big mask, Those are, yes, it's culture. Some are interested, so much. But everybody in the world, without doubt, without any kind of second thought, everybody desire for peace and happiness. Even though maybe they don't know what really peace and happiness is. It's just co-imagined. It's just manifest from just within the mind. I want peace and happiness. You don't know what that is, but simply just you want peace and happiness. Doesn't matter what kind of religion you believe. Or if you don't believe any religion, atheist, still they want peace and happiness. Even animals, insects, everybody is looking for some kind of peace and happiness, free from the fear. And nobody desires suffering. Even ruthless person who are killing others, but he himself doesn't want suffering. See, this is a universal that transcends all the differences. So now you see, the peace and happiness, what we want, it doesn't come just by wishing, by saying prayers, by chanting mantras, you see. The suffering that we're facing, doesn't go away just by saying prayers, chanting mantras, you see. So there's something underneath. So that's what Buddha taught. Buddha taught, you see, you should know the suffering. You should avoid the cause of suffering. See, we need that wisdom. Then we need to practice that. This is something if we know it, then there's no choice. We have to follow the path, step by step. No? If we really understood, if we are convinced ourselves within this subject, then we just know we have to follow the right path. That's why it's called, the path for the cessation of suffering. So there's called 8 right paths. Right path means if we follow that, that will help us to free from the cause of suffering. That will help us to achieve peace and happiness. So that is the, what we should study, practice in this 21st century. So that's, you see, now that goes to our mind, as I mentioned. The mind is very precise, clear. When there's anger, when there's aggression, when there's jealous, when there's greed, there's a suffering. Doesn't matter any part who is, even I'm wearing robe, outside I'm wearing robe, but inside if I have anger, I'm suffering, You see, the robe doesn't do anything. It's just a symbol, So you are wearing this robe, you have to behave yourself, So I have to behave myself by reminding, I'm wearing the robe. I should be a better person, So that's mentioned. The mind is the one. So these mental afflictions, attachment, aversion, anger, pride, jealousy, they need to be handled, purified, So to do that, there's so many things outside. Clothes, internets, technologies, none of this will help us to purify our mental confusion. It then don't make more the confusion. You see, more you have, more suffering there. Sometimes, it depends on your mind. So, this Buddha's teaching, some people think it's a religion, it's a concept. But in reality, as I mentioned, it transcends all the differences. Directly, it encounters our mental affliction, how to purify the mind. See, this is amazing, Some people don't like it. Of course, it's their choice. When you relate to the mind, they think it's boring. They need some excitement outside to infuse your excitement, make your excitement stronger. They enjoy that. Then at the end, they complain. You see, then they suffer. So you see, look at it, So when there is mental afflictions, even physically, maybe you're sick, not so well. But if you know how to handle your mind, it doesn't bother you so much. The problem is there, but because of you have the remedy, how to handle the mind, it makes your mind more acceptable. It heals yourself, make you a better person, more peaceful, more acceptable, regardless your condition. No? So that's why you see, we need these teachings so much. We need to share this whole world, this wisdom, how to heal. Now, in the past, due to this pandemic, COVID-19, many teachers has recommended, even Buddhists, chant this prayer, chant this mantra, this, you see, doesn't do so good, you see. Especially like see nowadays in India, in Nepal, I heard, just so bad. And how many great teachers in India, you see, both Buddhists and Hindus and other religious leaders, as well Nepal. They have more greater teachers than we ever have in the other countries. But they're facing such a difficult time. So you see, therefore, we should always rely on this mental power to do all the good things. So in that is regarding to this, sometimes people don't like it, but we have to express, There's called 10 non-virtues. That's called 10 virtues. You see, it's universal. It's not a Buddhist. How universally constitute. So what are the cause of the suffering? The karma, you know karma. Sometimes people think karma is coming from somewhere, from other life, from many other lives, say karma just come, and they think it's something bad thing, karma, it's your karma, But this karma means causality. It's every minute, every second. So this whole world is manufactured by the causality. The whole world is constituted within the causality. So it's the product of our karma or causality. Every moment or few years or few lifetimes or many lifetimes is very vast, profound. We should understand that. And then you see, now there's called, as mentioned, 10 non-virtues, 10 virtues, you see. So the 10 non-virtues, first you reflect. These are just very rough, very kind of, made very simple to understand. So that's taking life directly, indirectly. Taking things from others. Engaging in the sexual misconducts. These three, physical. So sexual misconduct means abusing your body. And then 4, from the speech, telling lies, especially spiritual lie. The spiritual lies can go to the who sits on the high throne. If you have not experienced, you don't have the qualities, but you pretend you are something realized. So, have you seen Buddha, sir? Even though you have not seen Buddha, say, oh, yes, sometimes I see Buddha, Or sometimes I have dream of Buddha, I see Buddha clearly. Or I communicate with the Buddha, to prove yourself something special. This is, it's called spiritual life, Then divisive speech, dividing, out of jealous, dividing groups, individuals. It's called divisive speech. And harsh words, using the harsh words. And then idle talk, wasting the time. So these are the four from the speech, the non-virtue, which creates this suffering in the individual's mind, then in the society. See? Then three, mental non-virtue, covetousness, also greed, or attachment, desire for your own benefit. It's called covetousness. Then malicious thought, anger, hatred. And those two are rooted in the ignorance. It's called wrong view. Wrong view means like, we have, you see, even though I am, it's a I am, so I just see as one entity, one solid, you see, but it's not one. It's the combination of many come together, four elements. Then my right hand, left hand, head, eyes, ears, nose, and skin, legs, all those combined, come together. So there's one, my body. But I perceive as just one independent, one solid. When I perceive the one solid, independent, it's a wrong view, you see. Because that is not how it constitutes. It's constituted so many causes and conditions. It's only illusory nature. So there's no I, something exists there, I. It's just a label, I should say label. It's just a notion. But I, something, perceiving, this is me, independent entity, solid. Then I attach to this. And then somebody against that, I have aversion. See? So how these three cronies, three mental afflictions, how they manifest. You see? So look at these. So these are 10 non-virtues. Anybody in the world who has this, we create all the cause of suffering. So we need to heal these all. We cannot heal just say prayers, but we have to understand. So that's called that three things: study, hearing, contemplation, and meditation practice. See, first we study them, understand them. Then you contemplate, scrutinize, get the conviction. Just say, I understood it directly. Then just understanding is just theory. You can say, yes, I understood, but it's just a theory. Now we need a practical application, practical approach. That to practice means mentally our mental afflictions need to reduce, purify. So that's called healing the mind. Then it can heal the mind. You see, then you can say like a breathe deeply and it helps your mind to relax. Now, just that moment you get some benefit, but you have to continuously practice to constitute within that reality nature, to flow into the path. Then we have to practice step by step, you see. So these are such important. All the teachings they taught are about these things. So healing the mind is the most important. And nobody can heal your mind except by yourself. That's why we individually need to involve. You individually go to school, college. See, nobody can go to the college for you. You see, say, I will go to college, get a good degree for you. Can we say that? See, we cannot say that. You have to go to the college. See, I can help you to understand. See, but you have to do the things. So when you are hungry, I cannot eat lunch for you. You see, can I eat lunch for you when you are hungry? So I'm hungry, please eat lunch for me. I wait here. We have to eat lunch for ourselves. That's exactly what Buddha taught. You see. So we all have to follow this path individually, you see, study, practice. So here now, Lama Sonam graciously, he's organizing this. So everybody should participate that. And then, and practice it by everybody. I cannot practice for you, but you practice for yourself. But I can help you, I can share you. You see, that's called interdependent, interconnected. But at the end of the day, it depends on the individual, how you have managed, how you have followed the path. So if, say, please say, if I can heal somebody else without their effort, so Buddha must have done by now. You see, Buddha's compassion is prevailed to all the sentient beings, not only to Buddhists. You see, Buddha's compassion is for everybody, even those individual who doesn't believe. Buddha's compassion goes to the animals. Buddha's concern is for everybody. There's no judgment. There's no prejudice. There's no racist. Buddha's compassion goes to everybody, That's why Buddha become Buddha. And then Buddha's teaching is taught for everybody. Buddha's teaching is not just for Buddhists, not just for monks and nuns, but for everybody, That's why we say prayers. It's just at the opening of the prayer, we just said, may all mother sentient beings have peace and causes of peace, isn't it? May everybody free from suffering and the cause of suffering. You say, we don't say all the monks and nuns have peace and happiness, And we don't say all the Buddhists have peace and happiness. But we say for everybody. Everyone is included. Our mind goes to all the sentient beings there, you see. But we individually have to take the share. We have to take the share of this. We have to participate. We have to follow the path. And then we get the benefit. So it's so important, so crucial. This is how we should have the correct understanding. No? Then we can say, when we have to practice Dharma well and follow the path well, and we get the benefit, then we can say it's a miracle, you know. Otherwise, there's no miracle, you know. You can read the Milarepa's life story. He has shown so many miracle powers, you know, because he earned it. He went through it. He totally achieved all those things. Then he displayed his ability. And then Milarepa has demonstrated miracle powers. But he didn't demonstrate it without cause, without practice. So we also all have to follow the path and practice. Especially the bodhicitta. The bodhicitta is a universal mind, now you can say. See, first we develop loving kindness, compassion to all sentient beings. So may everybody have peace and happiness. Now, these prayers as a method to support our motivation. We say this, we think about that, we contemplate about that. Then slowly, we develop this mental power. Now, even though everybody's desire for peace and happiness, but everybody is under the suffering. So to free from the suffering, we develop compassion. So may everybody free from the suffering. We say this prayer and we meditate on this, contemplate on this. And then just look at to yourself, as I am suffering, I desire to free from suffering. So we share this, we share by all sentient beings. So now, what should we do? No, you say what we should do to achieve complete peace and happiness. Peace and happiness of the Buddha, not just what we think of, samsara. This here, may everyone have peace and happiness means peace and happiness of the Buddha. So, no. Now, after that, we say, may everyone free from the suffering. Means not just temporary suffering, like a headache, no, some pains, but total, to free from the total suffering, means to achieve Buddhahood. So to do that, what we should do now, how I should follow, how the sentient beings can achieve that. So bodhicitta, there comes, the mind of the enlightenment. Mind to achieve complete Buddhahood. When one is attained Buddhahood, then one has all the peace and happiness, and one is free from entire suffering. So to desire to achieve that, it's called bodhicitta, first you see. So now, just cultivating that mind, have you achieved Buddhahood? Still not. See? Now what we should do? First is called the action bodhicitta. Now first is called aspiration bodhicitta, Aspiration bodhicitta, we aspire, you aspire to attain the Buddhahood. After having the aspiration, now what we should do to really attain Buddhahood, to achieve Buddhahood? So then, see, it's called action bodhicitta. We have to put the action. Just for example, you like to have a delicious lunch, a scrumptious lunch, Now what we should do? I'm so much today. I'm so much looking for a good lunch. But to have that thought, I don't have it yet. What should I do now? Now I have to prepare. You see, all the ingredients that I need, that I have to put together. That's called action. See, action bodhicitta. Now, as I mentioned, avoiding these 10 non-virtue is one action. Then engaging in the 10 virtuous action means, you see, protecting others' life, respecting others' life. So, instead of stealing, practice with generosity, and keeping the moral ethics, not telling lie, not being divisive, not using harsh words, not using idle talks. Always practice contentment. Contentment means you appreciate what you have. Oh, I'm so happy what I have. Look at there in the world, there's a lot of people now dying due to famine. Skeleton, like hungry ghosts, When we get some lunch to eat, appreciate, content, rejoice. Then practice compassion instead of malicious thought, anger, hatred. And then causality, as I mentioned, uproot the ignorance. You understand everything constitutes causality. Everything is changing. Nothing exists permanently. So see these things, then open your heart, open your mind. So these are called action. To attain the Buddhahood, you have to practice these things. One above that, you see, there's called 6 parameters, 10 parameters. You see, go through this step by step. Then through this, what it does is purifies our mental afflictions. When there's anger, bring the compassion, loving kindness. When there's greed, practice the contentment. Rejoice your life. So I'm so fortunate. I have the Buddha Dharma in my life. I'm practicing bodhicitta. This is the most precious thing. So these practices are such important. With these practices, then you can practice follow, like the White Tara, the Medicine Buddha, or Buddha Amitabha. Any practices you like, you can follow. First, this is the foundation you need. This is the foundation to support your practice. I'm sure you have heard of renunciation. Renunciation means you renounce the cause of suffering. Doesn't mean neglect your life. Sometimes people get a wrong understanding. Say, no, they should have a renunciation. They like to have renunciation. No, I don't like that, So people think the renunciation is not eating food, not wearing clothes, not taking care of your life. I think this is the primitive type of renunciation. A real renunciation means renounce the cause of suffering, because you don't like suffering, you see. But we don't know the cause of suffering. Because of we don't know the cause of suffering, now look at the suffering, what we're facing. We have accumulated the cause of suffering. Because of the accumulation of the cause of suffering, we suffer. And we don't like suffering, you see. So this, you have to understand this each step by step. So to renounce the cause of suffering. That's called renunciation. No? And then appreciate, rejoice, and content your life in the Dharma study practice. This is such a precious, a joyous path, a joyous method to follow. You know, when we are fully convinced about the causality in the samsara, the causality of the karma, the causality of the suffering, when you have enough wisdom and to see that directly, and then when you meet the Dharma teachings, you will feel so kind of appreciative. I'm really appreciate. It's not just being a religious or holy person, you know. Sometimes you say, this is a holy person, you know, it's a holy man, you know. It's not just being a holy, you know, but it's being a practical, see, being a practical approach to free from the suffering and follow the path towards peace and happiness. And that's the path you take to achieve the Buddhahood. You see, Buddhahood is within us. No, it's not somewhere you have to go. The other day I mentioned, you know, we go to Bodh Gaya where Buddha achieved Buddhahood. That's the Holy Land, you see. That's the really pure land, you know. But if you go there, all sorts of things there. Lot of dust, unclean, all, you know, there's a thief you can find there, you know, robberies there you find there. How you can say there's a robbery in the Pure Land, you know? But Bodhika is the Pure Land of the Buddha Shakyamuni. But if we individually have not understood, then you see, going to some places which is called Pure Land is not really pure. So that's why Buddha totally taught Pure Land is within. We have to make pure ourselves. We have to purify our mind. Once we purify our mind, means delete all these mental delusions, mental afflictions. When we could, purify, delete these mental afflictions, then anywhere you are is Pure Land. It's a place of the peace. You enjoy so much there. Otherwise, some people, they have such a great place, mention, luxurious life. But when the mind is so afflicted, they don't enjoy that either. There's a lot of complaint, no? I'm sure you know, we all know this, you see. So if you live a very simple life, but if you know how to content, if you know how to rejoice, that place is a Pure Land. See, so all our Dhamma practice is go through to our mind, purify. No? As I mentioned, the mind is not something you can see it. There's no color, there's no shape, to see it. No, there's not something to you grasp. Mind is consciousness. It's not a matter. It's consciousness. So that we individually have to take the responsibility to purify that. First to know it, then to purify, then to recognize, then you realize. See, there's many layers of the kind of obscurations. These obscurations is called habit. The habituation. We are so habituated. The samsaric mental afflictions are so habituated. We are so ingrained these mental afflictions. No? So through study, practice, you see, then we can purify them. It seems very simple. Let's say, don't attach to this. There's nothing to attach to this. It's empty. It's illusory nature. It makes sense. Yes, it's so illusory nature. No, there's nothing to attach. But then in the mind, there's some kind of attachment. No, it doesn't help. Intellectually, we know there's nothing to attach, but practically there's strong attachment still there, you know. See, so that what takes the practice. That's why we need the practice. See, we don't sacrifice all the good things. Sometimes you say, when you practice, you have to go through great hardship, this and that. There's nothing to call the great hardship. But what it does is need to purify these mental afflictions, these habits. No? Step by step. See, that's where we need dedication. We follow the path, you see. When you read the life story of Milarepa, looks, you know, it's awful, you know. He has no clothes to wear. He has no food to eat, you know, and just alone by himself for years and years, great hardship. But for him, that's the greatest gift. He felt most fortunate because I met such a great teacher like Marpa, and I received all the complete teachings. You know, I'm the most fortunate person in the world that exists. So he doesn't miss anything, and he didn't miss anything, any food. He's totally enjoyed his practice. He's ready to die without food because he enjoyed the Dharma so much, you see. Make sense? So this is such important point, you see. Just we meditate on this. So this, as mentioned, is not a religious training. Sometimes we need a religious training, you know, teacher training, this, that, you know. This is not a religious training. This is the training of the, no, getting rid of all this cause of the suffering. See, sometimes it's painful because you know it's not right, but it's just they take you on the direction, you know, and then it gives you such a difficult, you know, difficult decision. So I don't like it, but I have no choice, you know. It pulls you in the, you know, such a direction, you know, suffering. That's what they call when you practice, there's suffering. Otherwise, there's no suffering in the Dharma teachings, practice, you see. Always just, you know, precious. You know, that we have to know the Dharma. Dharma is not just some kind of like a Buddhism, you know, Buddhism, some kind of a cult, culture training, Okay, this is a universal highway towards the enlightenment. Make sense? So I hope this I'm not just talking something, This I try to share. You all get the point. Message. You see, while you're studying, while you are practicing the Dharma, Dharma came to the West now for 50, 60 years. But there are a lot of people still have not fully understood what Dharma is about. They just they take as one religion, one belief, like say karma is a concept, emptiness is a concept. This is a Buddhist philosophy. You see, so the emptiness is a concept. It's a belief, or this is what Buddhists believe about. In reality, you see, whole phenomena. Now, we have easier to communicate. You see, the modern science is called quantum physics theory. So through the quantum physics theory, everything, all this phenomenon, as a composite of many causes condition. Everything is contained in the dust particle. See, that dust particle you also investigate. So there's nothing exists at the end. Yet at the same time, you can see all these things. So it's not a Buddhist concept. It's reality, nature. So this can be understood by the mind. See, your mind can understand this. You can understand and realize by the mind. Once you realize, then there's nothing exists to attach, to hate, because there's no ignorance exists. So ignorance is the root cause of all these things, all the suffering in the world is because of the ignorance. There's some people so smart, to create the cause of suffering, you see. You see. They're very smart, to create the cause of suffering. Because they're so ignorant, you see, So you see, this is what we call the three training of the morality, training of the meditative concentration, the training of the wisdom, especially insight. These three trainings are so important. First, we keep the morals, moral conduct. Means avoiding all the cause of suffering and gathering all the cause for peace and happiness. Maintaining that discipline is called moral conduct. It becomes trustworthy. People believe you. People trust you because you have a morality, Then, when you have that, then there's a meditative concentration. You can keep the mind in the right place. Mind is not distracted here, there, everywhere. Rather, your mind keeps clear, peaceful, precise. It's called a precision, Once you have that ability, quality, then there's such great opportunity to kindle the special insight. It's called prajna, special insight. When the special insight is there, then you can see things precisely how everything constitutes. So these three are so important for the practice. You see. So that is what's called the action bodhicitta. See, the action bodhicitta is that to free from the total suffering, we need action. See, so that we have to involve by ourselves. Individually have to engage that, follow the path. So we individually have the responsibility. Look at this and just meditate. And then it is, as I mentioned, it's very important to rejoice. Every second, every minute, you rejoice. Wow, what wonderful. This is the method to minimize our mental afflictions, to reduce the strength of the mental afflictions, then eventually, slowly, to uproot these mental afflictions. Then when you realize the emptiness, then all the mental delusions are dissipated within the emptiness, because their nature is empty. They cannot exist anywhere. They cannot go anywhere. They only dissolve into emptiness. That's why emptiness is very important. But before we achieve the emptiness, first these stages have to go step by step. First, we need real good renunciation, means desire to free from samsara, desire to achieve enlightenment with full conviction, with the full dedication is very important. Then follow that step by step. All the practices is count, Very important. That's why Buddha taught complete teachings. You see, everybody is at the beginning not interested in emptiness, or they don't know what emptiness is about. When we are so attached to these things, if you just say everything's empty, say, I don't like it, I don't want the emptiness. I like where I am, because I'm attached to my house, I'm attached to my, all these things, what I have. I don't like the emptiness idea, But then first we need to understand, you want peace or you want happiness or not? So of course, I want happiness. I want peace, happiness, you see. I don't want suffering. Then there's some discussions, step by step, what it makes, as earlier mentioned, what it brings to suffering, what it brings the cause of suffering, what it makes peace and happiness. So all this, you see, that's what the complexity of the mind. The mind is so complex, many layers, like the onion, When you peel the onion, there's so many layers. At the end of the onion, there's nothing exists, you see. you all the layer open. Then you just ask, what's the essence of the onion? There's none, So like that, you see. Meditate on this, practice on this. Yeah. It makes sense. We don't have much time, Occasionally we have like this. I try to share sincerely, to get the message, to make a sense. I try to share the wisdom of the Buddha, not as a Buddhism, not as a Buddhist path, rather universal. So, You just look at all, everywhere, just open your heart. Then there's a chance to develop love and compassion to everybody. First, you see, I have love and compassion to everybody. No prejudice. No. Even those who are ruthless, even there are some who are destructive, still you have a room to develop compassion to those individuals. See? And that heals your mind. The person who irritates you so much, there's room to develop compassion to that individual. See? It's not easy emotionally, but with reason, with a practical approach, it makes sense. And then you try, develop that mind step by step, you see. There you feel, oh, that is one. Sometimes we say, oh, be kind, be nice, and like this is something like, I don't know what to say, But this is just like to show, oh, I have a compassion to you, this, just to show to things, But here, you see, deep in the mind, you can develop that. So this is how Milarepa did it, you see. Otherwise, Milarepa is on the mountain. There was nobody with him. He was alone by himself. How he can develop love and compassion to others? Well, he was by himself. But he totally realized this, recognized this. And then developed this thought, you see. And then he practiced this. Still, his teachings, you see, the 100,000 songs are so relevant because he taught from the point of view of the universal, not from the point of view of concept of Buddhism. So look at those great teachers who is highly accomplished in their practice. Make that sense. Those who are scholars, who studied for years and years and years, but having little practice, then they will make it's a Buddhism, They have so many things to say, share, but it's a Buddhism, It's a Buddhist concept. But those who have practiced, realized, really nature, and they will not teach you Buddhism, but they will teach you universal truth. You see, you have to understand that, So I'm just sharing these small steps to our Dhamma practitioners so that your life is not wasted. Otherwise, you study, practice for some years, some there 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. Then at the end, you give up. It's so sad, I feel so sad. You see, some are so engaged, in the Dhamma study practice for so many years, and then after some time, with some kind of negative experience, they give up. So that's very sad thing. So here I try to share you. So no matter what kind of experience you get, it's all individuals. And then also one importance Buddha said, rely on Dharma, not rely on person. See, we need a good teacher, you see, no doubt. The teacher who can give you all these instructions, step by step. We need a good teacher. But at the end of the day, you have to practice the Dharma, not the teacher. So rely on the Dharma. No, that Buddha said, don't rely on person, rely on Dharma. Don't rely on the relative state, but rely on the absolute state. See, there's 4 reliances, what Buddha said. So when you rely on the Dharma, Dharma will never deceive you. You just, no matter what, happens, you just follow the path. Otherwise, there are some people that totally give up the Dharma, It's very sad, I feel. It's wasted your life. I shouldn't say maybe not wasted, but there's an obstacle you face. So look at this. We try to study, practice Dharma as a universal requirement. It requires the wisdom, especially insight, to see it and follow. Purify your mind step by step. Okay. Now, 맞아, 빼져가 맞다 누가?
나서.
다 가르쳐 그래.
아니 발생 나는 저거 돌부지.
왜 발생이야?
발생가 자스를 된다.
아니,
저 죽지도 체갈 나나?
우리 아나 주드 차가.
제가 나와.
한번 주도 와.
나와노.
야, 아나. We will make a break at 10:30. Do you have any questions? Yes. Yeah, Mary?
Yes, I have a question. Thank you very much for allowing me here. Okay. When you talk about renouncing on the cause of suffering, how could I differ from the pain and the sorrow? The pain and the sorrow that I feel that come from my guts, from my heart. That is not suffering, but it's sorrow more than pain and pain.
Okay. Yeah. It is kind of suffering, you see. There's many layers of suffering, okay? There's some sufferings are very deep, and some sufferings are light. Some are, we call also suffering of change. You enjoy your life, but the suffering of change, we call that. If I say that, then you can say, are you crazy? I'm not suffering. I'm enjoying my life, But it doesn't stay. It changes into suffering. That's called suffering of change. So when you have deep sorrow, you see it's like you feel it's more than a suffering, but it's also a kind of suffering. So that is the experience you have that is going through. So what you should do is that time, this is impermanent. Okay? And just look at your pain, your sorrow. It just gives me such a pain in my heart. Then you look at others. There's so many others who are worse than you are. And you develop compassion, you see. So I don't want this suffering, this pain. But there are so many others who are worse than this, so I'm much better off. See? Now this pain is, I'm grateful. That helped me to connect to the Dharma, the wisdom. So the sorrow I have, it becomes my teacher to learn the wisdom of the Dharma. I'm so grateful. So I have to purify all my mental afflictions, you see. And this my pain that I have may a special cause to purify the cause of all the suffering of sentient beings. So you have a lot of opportunity to practice that, you see. Okay?
Rinpoche, can I ask?
Yes.
Rinpoche, sometimes in this life, whatever you, how say, in society, you have some business or you have some community, you have conflict.
Yes, conflict.
You can say your best friend, yes, but this conflict is by your best friend, your lover, or your family. Just in my case, like maybe my how say, my best friend or my lover. But this makes something like injustice, wrong accusation. Like how say, like money, like example, money, sexual, something like that. And
Yes.
how say, she spread false news to the community, to your guru. Even how say, make manipulative. We trust people, right? We trust people.
Yes.
We thinking all positive. But in the end, they just like drama, stabbing you in the back. Some person, because this is like how say, like maybe like praying victim crying, or something like maybe the karma happen. People more believe in the how say, the bad person than the person is actually not guilty in nonsense. Everything is broken. What should we do? Call the police? We feel sorry, but we approach to him or her, he ran away. What should we do? We want to repair this. We hear about Samaya not fighting, but sometimes disappointment, sorrow, disappointment. We sometimes like easy is like, oh, Dharma, what the thing happens, Dharma like, oh my God, Rinpoche, the heart like how say up and down. Wow. The feeling, oh, it's not illusion, Rinpoche, it's like anger already hot in the heart. Not like, oh, this is a dreaming illusion, this is emptiness, this is not your fault, but the crying, the sadness is already affect emotion.
Yes.
Sometimes very sad. What should we do? We want to repair this, we want to be harmony again.
Yes.
I don't want thinking like just pray, no police. Sometimes I'm thinking, what should we do as Buddhists?
Yes.
Is this country also have police? What should we do? Okay. May your advice or your view, can you share a bit? Because this is a real case, Rinpoche.
It's very painful, empty. It's so real, painful, not so empty. it's not so
empty.
It's not so illusory. It's so real, painful, no empty, no illusion.
It's like Vajrayana, oh, you are bodhicitta, bodhisattva, cannot be anger. Anger is so dangerous, but like your heart and your brain, like not same, Rinpoche.
That's
like,
right.
Oh my God.
Your heart and the brain, they're fighting.
Yes. Really cares, Rinpoche, not like, oh, be careful anger, but oh my God, control.
Yeah. That's why first of all, I mentioned before, once you understood that's not the end of your practice of Dharma. That's the beginning of our Dharma study, practice, or journey, You follow the path step by step, you see. And then, as I mentioned, always you have to focus on mental delusions, how these delusions are so strong, like our anger, our attachment. You see, attachment and anger, they are totally different. First, you see, attachment is so close to you. They are so attached. You want to have it. And anger is you want to be distant, you want to destroy. But they are really, without the one, other cannot exist. If there's no attachment, there's no reason to have anger. See, like, say, for example, I mentioned this, like, say, just example. When I'm so attached to this, you see, so I'm grasping, I'm so grasping, fixated, so I don't want to let go. I'm so attached to this. But then if somebody takes this away, then there's a battle starts. Then, you don't take it because it's mine. It's not yours, it's mine. So you are taking this. So then they start the anger, you see. Because of I have the attachment, then it brings the anger. In the first place, if I don't have so much attachment to this, I use it when I have it. If somebody takes this away, if I say, let go, then there's no anger, you see. So that's why I see the mind is so delicate. It's to practice the mind that we need. So now, right at the beginning of mission, which I should realize this is a impermanent, transitory nature. I have it for the time being, but I cannot have it for my whole life. I have to have that kind of preparation. I have to understand that, you see. Once I understood this and practice this, and I have to practice this repeatedly, you see, it's mine, but it's temporary. It may break anytime. It may take by, it may be taken by somebody else. So at that time, what I should do, I have to prepare all these things. When I have prepared well, then I enjoy it when I have it, you see. But then if it breaks or if somebody takes away, then I practice, this is what's called impermanent. I will try not to take by others, to this, So I will say, don't take it, it's mine, But without my choice or without much other things, if somebody takes away that time, then I should learn, I should have wisdom how to let it go. See? Then if I have to practice that way, even though I miss this, but I have wisdom to keep my mind calm and peaceful. That's called practice, you see. That's why it's mentioned 10 non-virtues, you see. 10 non-virtues, first 3 physical, taking life directly, indirectly. Stealing, somebody steals or engage in the sexual misconduct, there's just so much suffering there. Jealous, envy, anger, resentment, so much there. This all suffering created by these things. So I need to let go of this. I have to learn how to practice, how to protect my mind. Means protect my peace of mind. You see? So that's what's called Dharma practice, as mentioned. It's not a Buddhism. It's not a religious training. It is a way universally how to protect your peace, happiness, and how to free from the suffering. So get that message, okay? It's step by step. There's no magic show. I will say some prayers and let go, that doesn't happen so easily, So you need every day your understanding, your mindfulness. That's what there comes mindfulness, you see. Mindfulness, understanding, awareness. This is the key. And skillfuls, the skillful means This is all the key to achieve your realization. Okay. Then when you go step by step, you know, emptiness. At the end of the day, everything is empty. Nothing exists. No? Because when you die, no matter how much you protect your life, this body, at the end of the day, when you die, you have to leave this body behind. Now what you do? All the work you worked hard in your whole life. See, then you have leave everything behind, including your beautiful house, your beautiful car, your beautiful body, everything you have to leave behind. You see, no choice. So look at that. And before that, when they understand how much suffering there will be, you know. So that's called preparing all to purify the cause of suffering. You see, purify the cause of suffering. Okay, now we make a short break, okay? First, please take a deep breath. Inhale fully. Exhale. Om Banza Sato Samaya Manopalaya Banza Sato Denoba Tijanteto Membawa Sudokaya Membawa Subukaya Anorada Membawa Sorwa Sidne Mempraya Sorwa Karma Suzame Sedana Shriya Guru Hung Ha Bhagawana Sorwa Tatankata Banzama Mim Banzambawa Ma Samaya Sato. Okay, thank you. How many minutes, Lama?
Rinpoche, 10-15 minutes.
Okay, sounds good. So please make the break.
Yes, please.
Richard Allen.
Hello, Eminence from Chile.
Yeah, Chile.
Lizeth, thank you for your teaching.
Oh, wonderful. Elizabeth from Chile. Tara Chuling from Chile. And
Yes.
Karma Tenzin Norpo from Chile. And Richard Allen from Boston.
Rinpoche, 다들 내 리저를 기치를 중에 비게 인지나라 렌즈스 직태도가 공 아마 발라콩 아주 다 슝게 표 슝게 오마 비게 가서라 별이야 슝십나 융예체 되네 자갈체 다든다 아니 보선이야 배도 도마 부여부구설 보이나 지처리나 되지 거디션 붙이라고 그랑 공루 고주 구중 되고 하래.
어머. 민체가사.
공원 제 가래 수도 마치랑 디까시 아무라
아시도아.
까시
렌즈 다들이 렌즈 다 통통스
라온 어디도 와 라온
라스라스 에레
수졸라 슈르 전부 분졸라
한번 분절라 알레 라스라스
먼저 뭐선래 루버체 단다 아무라지 공을 야대 시 아니 디월 페이지 공원라 제거 이래 공원주 대 공로 국주 세워든데 가시에도 아니 제주 세워 망고요 그래라
빼르다
아니 공원라 그뒤에 먼저도 처벌서도 공모 주주 두 번에 제어포도 요아리 딜 페이지 차진 요아리 아니 단도 지난 부바 가시에 페이지 공원다 공로 제부제 아니 가르소랑 알아주 보이숑라야 지 차례는 유링워직다 아니 산에 망조리야 지 독성어마 야마 페 디데스 나도 유베갈라야 지 간디나세스를 what 데지를
데 빼레
나오
침브레
구수 나오
딱 케게 콘돌라 송쇼 내체 시야데 라마 신다게 시야데 때 마다세 시야 송송샤
라수 다 혼르베스 이거던데
내게 내 메리드와 나체 모토티 Zamni mischila khoya ki chedure yiba jikshia son sho.
Lost.
Napa chuko ma yiba.
Lost.
So then breaks na rwa.
Lost.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Okay.
Oh, Richard, yeah. It's fair.
That face that is usually covered by our phone has finally been.
Ngede. Konchog ngede.
Hi Rinpoche.
Hello, Ronald.
Yeah, long time. It's been a while.
Three from yes, Tibetan. No,
How are
today
you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, fine.
Yes,
Yeah,
wonderful. Good to see you.
been taking your words quite seriously, and also it's been helping me out a lot. Your advice.
That's wonderful.
Thanks.
And Bonnie, good morning.
Good morning, Rinpoche. Wonderful to see you.
Yeah, very good to see you. And I heard Nepal is not doing well.
I know. I've been watching the news and thinking how sad what
Yeah,
what people are suffering. The suffering is so great in
oh,
India and Nepal.
yes.
So sad.
Yeah, so I postponed my trip there.
Yes, of course you would have to. You cannot travel there now.
Yes, yes.
But I hope in the future, you will be able to go.
Yeah,
to Lhasa.
yeah, very important for me to go there.
Very important.
Yeah.
Very, very important. And to bring that energy back to us from Lapchi.
Yeah, from Himalaya mountain.
Yes. Wonderful. Wonderful to hear your voice and receive these teachings. We're so fortunate, so happy.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful.
Rinpoche, I might have to leave already since it's currently 11:44 p.m. at my area, and I have class tomorrow.
Yes, you do
Yeah.
what you need to do.
But I seriously wish I could stay longer so I can.
Yeah, you just stay as long as you can, and then you should do what you need to do.
My mom's already asking me to go back and sleep.
Yes.
Yeah, but thank you for your teachings, and I hope to see you soon again. Yeah. Thanks anyways. I hope you come back to Malaysia soon after when this entire pandemic has been gone over. Yeah. So I'll leave right now. Everyone take care. You too, Rinpoche. Bye guys. Good night.
Thank you, Rinpoche, for sharing the heart essence.
Yeah,
May you have
Richard,
long life, good health. Glad you're here on the earth plane.
It's okay,
Much
I
love
can
to
see.
you.
Yeah. Richard, very nice to see you.
Thank you.
It's hard to hear people. I think there's a lot of people moving.
Soren Sakyong. Yeah. Kama Tinju Nobu. You like the teaching? Yes. Good. That would be great. I think it will help many people. Om Banza Sato Samaya, Mano Balaya, Bandra Sato Tenopa, Distrato Membawa, Sudo Kaya Membawa, Subu Kaya Mem, Anorata Membawa, Sarva Sete Me Prayaza, Sarva Karma, Suzame, Chetana, Shreya, Kuru Hung, Ha Ho, Bakawan, Sarvata Tangatam, Banza Mamim, Zamban Zimbawa, Ma Samaya Sato. Yeah, first, please take a deep breath. Inhale fully. Exhale. Relax your mind and body. And now we will go through those three practices that Lama Sonam has mentioned. So I'll just go through some kind of little overview. More details, of course. Lama will describe. Most important things, as I mentioned, I mentioned those things. Please keep those in your mind. Especially these practices we call Vajrayana practice. So for Vajrayana practitioners, so all the steps that I described are so crucial, especially bodhicitta. This called relative bodhicitta and absolute bodhicitta, both the aspiration and the action bodhicitta, they are called relative bodhicitta because they still go forward from the beginning to the Buddhahood, step by step. It's called relative, progressive. Absolute bodhicitta is the realization of the emptiness. That's called absolute bodhicitta. So those both bodhicittas are the direct counteract to the mental afflictions. All the mental afflictions we have, we need the both bodhicitta. First, to reduce the strength of the mental afflictions, confusions, we need relative bodhicitta. Very important. Then at the end, to uproot all the mental afflictions, then we need absolute bodhicitta, realization of the emptiness. So the both bodhicittas are equally important. So having said that, we have to follow step by step, not just intellectually, as I mentioned, Intellectually, it's important to get the meaning. Now, practical application is the most important to get the benefit. By hearing the Dharma, you get benefit, but not the total. To get the total benefit, we have to practice. So important. Sometimes we go to the teachings by great teachers, and then we are so inspired. So wonderful teachings, all this and that, But then after a few days, it disappeared. It's because the lack of the practice. Then we just back to our ordinary mind. So to get the benefit, practice. As I given the example of food, when you are hungry, it's not enough just to get some message about the food. We need to eat. Eat also. When you are really hungry, one mouthful, two mouthful is not enough. Say one mouthful. Say, I got enough. I got one mouthful. We don't say that. You need a plate to eat. So same thing. To get the benefit of the Dharma, then we must practice. Yeah. To replace ingrained mental afflictions. See? Oh.
Okay, everyone, please, you may be mute. Yes, thank you.
Now what we have here is I know just many people read the Mahamudra or Dzogchen teachings. You know, many of you have the idea of those teachings, so I don't have to go so much details. But you know, when you practice the Vajrayana, you know, which of course, as I mentioned, just beginning, all this taking refuge, cultivating bodhicittas, these are very important to open the gateway towards enlightenment. Then after that, just know this samsaric state, our mind, body dissolve into emptiness. You have heard of that, you see, Omo Swa Bhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Swabhava Shuddha Ham. In Sanskrit, you know, Omo Swa Bhava. Swa Bhava means naturally. Swa Bhava Shut. Shut means pure. Naturally, everything is pure by itself. Means we have the Buddha nature. The Buddha nature is pure by itself. We no need to purify Buddha nature. No. Buddha nature is pure by itself. But to see that Buddha nature, we need wisdom eye. To have the wisdom eye, you see, then we have to see all this relative state, conventional states. Their nature is emptiness. So when you see this, everything nature is emptiness. We are not making empty. This is also very important. We are not making empty, but it's empty by itself. See, if we're creating emptiness, then that emptiness becomes artificial or is contrived. If we are negating it, it's a contrived emptiness. But if we realize the emptiness itself, then it's not contrived, it's uncontrived, unfabricated, because it is not fabricated. See, so to practice Vajrayana, we need first this, you see. All this, our body, mind, that we're having this with the relative state, they all dissolve into emptiness. That's what's called here, no? Like this white Tara practice, you know? It's called from purified emptiness, manifest vast protection. The protection mentioned there, no? Purified means this all relative conventional state that what were in the dualistic state. No, our body is all dissolved into emptiness. So that is called purified. We purify the mental afflictions. So there's nothing to grasping, no craving. So there's nothing to crave, grasping. It's all non-duality nature. That's what's called purified emptiness. So from within that emptiness, then you just build the like the white Tara, no, mention. White Tara's palace. And then in the center of that palace, there's a lotus. On the lotus, moon disk. On the moon disk, then the thumb, white thumb syllable. So this is the method. So it's not just mere empty, but from emptiness makes the space to manifest everything. So emptiness is the wisdom. That wisdom knows all, samsara, nirvana, everything. So the lotus symbolizes the purity. Like you see, lotus grow from the mud, but it's blossomed above the mud, such a fresh, pure snow. Then that lotus symbolizes the wisdom. Then on the lotus moon disk symbolize the compassion. It's not just mere wisdom, but compassion. So wisdom, compassion, they come together. They are inseparable, see. With that wisdom and compassion, with the inseparability nature, that which pervades the entire universe. So the thumb is especially white thumb, the white thumb is especially symbolize the seed of the Tara, Tara's essence. See, from that, light manifests to all the directions. So this is from that emptiness, then all the activities manifest. Purifies the sentient beings, making offering to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and then is returned to Tam. At that moment, then the Tam transforms into white Tara. See. Then white Tara, as you know, is white complexion, white body, which means peace. Tara is there, there's a green Tara, red Tara, yellow Tara, blue Tara. This all signifies different qualities of the Tara from same nature. But according to the needs of the individuals, Tara manifests. All these things, there's no limitation. Because Tara, you see, it's not just a person. Of course, there's a background of history of Tara. It's not just a myth. It's a historical, enlightened, but it's enlightened nature. It's a Panjana Paramita, the wisdom of the Buddha. So that's it, Tara. See. So here, white is a peace. It's related to the longevity. And dispels all the obstacles to our life. General obstacles, especially to the life. And then you see that brings the peace. So that is come from, as mentioned, bodhicitta. See? All comes to the bodhicitta, you see. We have to always put emphasis to bodhicitta. So that first it transforms our mind. All our aggression, confusions, this all are purified, healed by the bodhicitta. So bodhicitta is the total peace. So Tara, white Tara is that nature. So in the Vajrayana, you see, it's transformation. You transform from negative to the positive, from samsara to nirvana, from confused being to the enlightened being. See, so in the relative state, these practices are taught. We should understand that. Once we are transformed, then we can help others. But you see, in the Buddhist or in general, no, it's not just only Buddhist, you say, in general, say, nobody can, you see, create anything. So we individually have the ability to how to sustain ourselves. My life is my own creation. See, other can help me. No, this other can help me to transform, but I am the one direct to transform myself. If I don't accept, I cannot be transformed. There may be some other who are very kind to surround me, who help me. But if I don't accept their support, I cannot transform myself. I can only transform myself by myself. Then we need other support to help that. See, so that's what's called conditional. No, that's called primary cause, contributory cause, who can contribute, but I'm the primary cause who does things. And then the contributory cause help me. So that's what it's called. Spiritual masters are the contributory cause, contributory conditions. So we need contributory cause. That contributory cause help us to recognize things, how they constitute. And then primary cause, I have to accept, follow the path by that, you see. So here what I'm saying is now, first, how we become White Tara. See, White Tara has 7 eyes, you see, 2 regular eyes, 1/3 eye, and then in the palm, both palms, both in the sole of the feet. This 7 eyes symbolizes seeing this whole world, everywhere, all the directions. That is symbolized wisdom. And then I don't have to say all the details of the wearing clothes, all these, unlike Green Tara, she sits in the cross leg, so that you see, and then because of its mission, she's the embodiment of the wisdom, patience. She's the embodiment of the bodhicitta. She sees all the samsara, all the 6 realms of the samsara, from the hell realm to the God realm. How compassion extends to everyone. She helps all the sentient beings. So when we practice Tara, so we should have that kind of understanding. Meditate on this. These are the very important points. When you chant, especially when you chant the Tara mantra, Tare Tutare Tore Mama Ayukana Punya Puja Guru Soha. At that time, heal yourself. Because we are, even though we are the Tara form, but not yet we are Tara. See, it's the method. It's showing the method how we can become Tara. Purify ourselves, you see, step by step. Then, when you realize, see, inseparable nature of yourself and Buddha's mind, then you become Tara. I'm sure you know there's a song by Choba Chitu Sumgun, Lord Chitu Sumgun, the 7 verses when he perceived, when he saw the 7 Dharas, and they are mentioned step by step, you see. So in that, if you read that writing or that poem, it's beautiful, you see. It says, and the unborn nature, you see, the unborn mother means non-duality. No duality, Tara, which is all the mothers of the Buddha, the Panjana Paramita. So in that, Tara abides there, means Tara is nature of all the Buddha's mother. All the Buddhas are born from that. No? So there you see, may I protect from all the fears. We have a fear because of our attachment. See, our attachment to self. When we have so much attachment to ourselves, then there's a lot of fear. See, if you release all the fear, there's nothing to attach. There's no self. When we have that kind of wisdom, there's nothing to fear. No? Everything is just display of the all, a display of the many manifestations. Everything manifests, dissolves, looks powerful, like a storm, At the ocean, when there's a storm looks very powerful. It is very destructive. It destroys the whole city around that coast. But when the wind dissolves, just water, it disappears to nowhere. Look at this, The wind looks sometimes very powerful. Tornado looks very powerful. It's just a manifestation. They manifest and they dissolve. Our anger, look at, our anger is so powerful. It's like a storm, very destructive, but it comes from nowhere. It dissolves into emptiness. It manifests from emptiness, it dissolves into emptiness. So this is why we're practicing Dharma. We have to understand that. Everything is just a manifestation. They come and go. And just realize everything is illusory nature. Manifest from emptiness, dissolve into emptiness. That's why in the Heart Sutra, the form is emptiness, and emptiness is the form. Form is no other than emptiness, and emptiness is also no other than form. You see, as I mentioned, we are not making empty, but they constitute within the emptiness. So emptiness is not just nothingness. Emptiness is a full. All the causality functions within the emptiness. So whatever cause we create, that functions within the emptiness. When we create negative causes, that manifests suffering within the emptiness. When we create positive causes, all the positive results manifest from that within emptiness. So make that sure we understood that. So here, White Tara is special transformation. Special White Tara, as I mentioned. Everything's done with peaceful, with compassion, with bodhicitta, purify, step by step, you see. So light going out, light coming back. So as you are White Tara, in your heart, there's in the center, thumb syllable, surrounded by the mantra. And from the mantra, light radiates to all the direction. It's the practice of your bodhicitta. See, first that becomes offering, make offering to all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. And you receive all their blessings into you. And you purify yourself. All the obscurations, as I mentioned, even though we are in the form of Dhara, but we are not enlightened yet. So we need to purify that. No? Purify our obscurations. Once you purify this, then see, then look at all the sentient beings in the 6 realms. Now, as you can see, they're suffering so much. No? In the hell realm, hungry ghost, animal, in the human realm. Now, in the human realm, we have all the 6 realms, you see. Because nowadays, the pandemic, you see, like they're in the hell realm, they're in the hungry ghost, and they're so stupid like animals, you see. So look at these. Now, use your sense of the compassion. Wisdom, first, if your wisdom eye, look around and extend the compassion. So light that you have in your heart, which is nature of compassion, wisdom, radiate to all the sentient beings and purify. This is the practice of your bodhicitta. See, your bodhicitta, that then once you become Buddha, then you have all the ability to do that. First, you have to practice this. You know? Then your bodhicitta goes to all sentient beings in the form of light. That's Vajrayana, this is called skillful means. Skillful means of, the sentient beings. So, as I mentioned in that poem by Chobajita Sunguns, so without realizing oneself as the Dhammakaya, means everyone has the Buddha nature, but without realize, we wander in the samsara. See? Then through the mental afflictions, like I said, from the ignorance manifests anger that creates the hell realm. Strong desire, attachment brings the hungry ghost. Not understanding, stupid makes the animal. And then through the just desires of human beings and pride, God realm, jealousy, the demigod, see, all these 6 different mental afflictions create the 6 realms of the samsara. And so look at this, and we purify our 6 mental afflictions. And then light of the wisdom, light of the compassion pervades entire samsara with such a sincere mind. And then transform the 6 realms into the Tara. So this is the practice of your bodhicitta. You are practicing bodhicitta, you see, in that way. Mainly for our own mind. See? Don't expect there's a miracle power. But if we purify our mental afflictions, that's the miracle power, you see. When our anger is subside, or our attachment is dissolved, that's the miracle power. Because there is no one can do this. There's no medicine can help us to purify our attachment, our anger. there's no technology to get rid of our ignorance. But these bodhicitta practices will help us to do this. So this is what called Dara practice, you see. So we have to, at this moment, we individually have to take the full responsibility to purify all our limitations, our mental delusions, and then develop indispensable bodhicitta, impeccable bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is the consummate method, complete method for the remedy of all the delusions that we have. So that's what Dara practice is about. See? So I'm just briefly saying these things, Then in that Dara practice mentioned, Jitendra mentioned, you see, Buddha's teaching is so vast, so profound. Depending on the layer of the mind, there's a teaching in each, So sometimes in the Buddhist, there's a tenet system. We use all the tenet system. Something like Buddha created. It's not Buddha created, but Buddha taught. The level, the degree, the individual practice. So when you achieve this state, you have this. When you have achieved this state, you have this. And then in the ultimate, you have this. You see, it's not something Buddha created, but it's individual's degree of the realization. See, when individually developed step by step, then one has these different types of qualities. Like, for example, you're going to elementary school, higher school, college school, then university. You see all this degree is like that going, So it's not something tenet system, but it's something your ability of the realization of the different stages. So understand that. We just develop. We're not stuck there. Just go all the way to enlightenment. Then is in that mentioned, you see, the mind is difficult to realize. Once you realize, then we're just overwhelmed, or we're just now stuck with the concern of the samsara. So as mentioned, the mind is within us, but it's not so easy to see it. Because as mentioned, there's no color to see it. There's no shape, It's neither exists. That's why it's called neither exists nor non-exist. That's what it's called, So I understand that. And all these worldly concerns, like the 8 worldly concerns, gain, lose, comfort, discomfort, praise, blame. Don't attach so much about these things. In the Samsara, everybody's interested about that. How to gain, Comfort, attach to the comfort, praise, and we hate the blame, We hate the discomfort. We hate to lose. They all just play of the samsara. They come and go. Just we meditate, they are just manifestation. Sometimes we feel good, sometimes we don't feel good, but it's just play, It's a play of the condition. So meditate on this, not so much focus on this, but always look at the mind, purify all obscurations step by step. Then there will come, you see, non-duality, you see. When you see your mind as it is, itself is non-duality. Because all things are just manifestation. Everything is just a manifestation. There's no concrete, no substantial. They come and go. So because of that, it's called non-duality. Just right now, say, I, you, there, here, it's all just a label. My nature is no different from your nature. The nature of the samsara is no different from nirvana, you see. When I realize that there's nothing to attach to, there's nothing to hate, just meditate on this. So purify. This all you can purify within the Tara practice. And then you can heal yourself and heal others. This is called healing. We heal from the delusion. So our delusion is so thick, so obscure. So that obscurations comes only from the Dharma practice, Dharma study. That's why Dharma is so precious. You cannot replace we cannot replace the Dharma by any others. So meditate on this, practice on this. So these all are just, as mentioned, details will explain by Lama Sonam. He's expert on this, and here mentioned Tara praise, you see. The crowns of gods and demigods pay homage to your lotus feet, you see. All samsaric powerful deities, gods and demigod in the samsara, whatever samsara they say, samsaric deities, they pay homage to Tara. Means because Tara is the mother of all the Buddhas. See? It's not something, some entities, See? You who liberates from all unfavorable conditions. So Tara, because of being nature of the bodhicitta, means embodiment of wisdom and compassion. So all these delusions, confusions can dispel by Tara. So that's why she is the resource of all the wisdom. All the unfavorable conditions can be dispelled. Means that your mind is that nature. Not Tara outside there something can do, but your mind can do that. When you have right information, right understanding, when you have right practice, you have that condition. So you should be confident by yourself, not out of delusion, but out of wisdom. So Tara is praised by all the Buddha as the mother of the Buddha of the 3 times, the Buddha of the past, present, future. are reborn or all a birth of the Tara. Or Tara gives birth to all the Buddhas because of Tara's wisdom. As soon as you realize Tara's wisdom, you become Buddha. So that's why she is the mother of all the Buddha, you see. So then mantra, as mentioned, mantra rotates, light goes out, comes back, all this is the practice of your bodhicitta to all sentient beings. Okay. Yeah, so that's the nature of the Tara, how Tara benefits sentient beings because of bodhicitta. So we practice the bodhicitta. Now, Milarepa mentioned, you see, the connection Buddha and the sentient beings is because of Buddha's compassion, not because of Buddha's wisdom. Of course, Buddha is the embodiment of all the wisdom, but not just only the wisdom, but the compassion. Compassion means taking care of the sentient beings. All sentient beings respect Buddha because Buddha cares all sentient beings. Without judgment, without prejudice. Each and every sentient beings, in Buddha's mind, there's no different. From the smallest insect to the highest great teacher, for Buddha mind, there's no difference. Because both, they want peace and happiness. Both, they don't want suffering. And Buddha sees that, and Buddha cares everybody that way. See? That's why we all should take refuge in the Buddha. So Tara is that nature. See? Because here, Tara represents all the Buddha, because she's the mother of all the Buddha. So understand that. So we see, we have all this instrument, how to transform everything, So be grateful. Enjoy the life. Despite there's the problems, we have a lot of problems in the samsara, but within that problem, we have the solution, you see. We have the ultimate medicine, not just simple thing, not temporary solutions, but ultimate solutions. Meditate on this, practice on this. So Tara, as a historically, there's a Tara history. Limitless eons ago, there was called a Buddha, the Hishigwangata, Tathagata, drum sound. So when that Buddha appeared on this planet, then there was a king. The king's daughter was called, I think, Yeshitama. Yeshitawa, yes. The wisdom moon. And then she took refuge to Buddha. And then she devoted to Buddha so much that she served the Buddha for many years. And then cultivated bodhicitta so much. Then she's, you see, she saw all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they've manifests in the form of man, not so much woman. So herself as a woman, then I see this now in my life, now in the future, I practice bodhicitta, manifest in the woman form, and benefit all sentient beings. Then all the Buddhas praise about her bravery, her power, ability. See, so Tara means liberator. So then all Buddha said, you are Tara. So we practice them because in the emptiness nature, there's no difference, man or woman. For the bodhicitta, there's no difference, man or woman. There's no such car, this is a woman bodhicitta, this man bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is bodhicitta. Emptiness is emptiness. You see, all others are just a label. So it says, don't confuse with this. Practice bodhicitta. Equally, everybody has the equal right. So bodhicitta is a real, I think, it's a perfect democracy. Anybody who practices bodhicitta, you can become Buddha. Doesn't matter, man or woman. Then some women are more powerful because who practice the bodhicitta. And some men are very fragile, they don't practice bodhicitta enough. Some men are very weak, and some women are so powerful. So get that message. Practice bodhicitta, everybody. So that's how Tara committed to being in the woman form. But enlightened nature, no difference. Okay, so there's about Tara. Okay. And then Amitabha, Rivala, Rivame.
Varela.
Tomata diserve. Allah. Now next, Amitabha, Buddha Amitabha, very popular Buddha. Sometimes in China or maybe even Japan, that's called Pure Land School. That's just praying Amitabha, But I say, without Buddha Shakyamuni, there's no Buddha Amitabha, Buddha Shakyamuni introduced Buddha Amitabha, There's Amitabha Sutra. Amitabha Sutra is taught by Buddha Shakyamuni. And he put so much emphasis about Amitabha. Therefore, Amitabha becomes so popular. It's because of Buddha Shakyamuni, First of all, you see, Buddha Amitabha, like other Buddhas, just as mentioned about Tara, practice the compassion, practice the bodhicitta so much. And when you come to the bodhicitta, all the Buddhas share the same thing. Therefore, sometimes you say, Buddha Shakyamuni said, when I was a Tathagata, I was in that form. That means they share the same bodhicitta. There's no difference, bodhicitta. So Buddha Amitabha practiced that bodhicitta, life after life, life after life. Then once there was called Kelon Chujune, Dhammakara was born as a bhikkhu, monk, a bodhisattva. Seeing the samsara, the suffering is so much. So how now I can help sentient beings? So there's called Chang means purification of pure land, a wrapping of the true accumulations. And then ripening sentient beings and completion of the true accumulations and the purification of the land. So when Buddha go through the practice, these three are very important because they relate to bodhicitta. For example, Buddha Shakyamuni, he perfected these three. Perfection of the two merits, ripening of the sentient beings, and purification of the land that he is going to enlighten. So Buddha Amitabha, before he became Amitabha, he was born, as mentioned, Bhikkhu Dhammakara. So he practiced that. So then his mind was such, in many other Buddha fields, like Buddha Akyobhyas, to reborn in that place, ordinary person, is very difficult. You have to achieve certain realization. You have to achieve certain bhumi. So he cultivated mind, say, in my pure land, every ordinary can be reborn with confidence of Buddha, not having heavy or serious negative karma action. So like that, then he continuously practiced bodhicitta, so that Devachan, the blissful pure land that Buddha Amitabha have achieved. So because that even ordinary people can reborn there, once you cultivate it, or cultivated the mind to achieve that. Once you made a connection to Buddha Amitabha. So there's again, this goes to the bodhicitta. So there is in his decision to check your kolokol. Simjen namla tatu tuji sung. Tamja session to that turns up. So he's Buddha Amitabha turns Dharma wheel, So Dharma wheel, you see, all the Buddha's teachings, they have to give the Dharma teachings to understand and in order to practice, to free ourselves to achieve Buddhahood. All this. And then, simply is looking or gazing to all the sentient beings. That's all the Buddhas are saying. Concern all sentient beings, they're suffering so much. But everything is interdependent, interconnected. Buddha's compassion, Buddha's blessings, and our own effort, our own motivations. If we are not interested, what Buddha can do? like a child. Mother concerned the child is so much. Especially when the child is sick. She does everything what she can to help the child. But the child also has to give the support. The child also have to give the comfort, the contribution. Have to acknowledge the mother's support. Child also have to go along with the mother. When the child does all the necessary things that need to be done with mother's help, then there's a great benefit. But if the child doesn't agree, the mother, if the child goes wrong direction, what mother can help? What mother can do? You see? So that's a called interdependent, interconnected. That's why we need these teachings, you see. We have to share these teachings. It's the reality nature. It's not just somebody's concept. Everything is within that dimension. Understand that. So like that, Buddha Amitabha, his creation to all the sentient beings to reborn in the Pure Land. He made the condition. But then we are the one, we have to follow that path, accept that. And we have to do our own part, our own responsibility, follow, So then that comes together, helps, you see. Just I mentioned, avoid the 10 non-virtues, It's our responsibility. Buddha have shown the path. Say, if you don't want suffering, don't do these things. Well, we're doing all these things and then complaining, that doesn't solve the problem, The food is on the table and you are not eating it. Then you complain, I am hungry, I am so hungry. I say, no, if you complain that, not eating the food, what we should do? See? So Buddha prepared all these things, taught all those teachings. Now we have to take the responsibility to follow the path. Buddha cannot say, I take your suffering away, If that isn't done, if that's possible, Buddha must have been done by now. See? So that's the reality nature. Everywhere, So look, see, no matter what kind of religion you believe, we are all in the same boat. We have to do our own part. We have to follow, So Buddha made these all conditions. And now we have to purify the 10 non-virtues. We have to practice the 10 virtues. Then we have to renounce the cause of suffering and have the strong motivation to achieve the enlightenment. On the way to enlightenment, we have to reborn in the Pure Land. Pure Land means a better condition to study, practice Dharma. Right now, I think those who we are practicing Dharma, we are in the Pure Land, We have very good condition. We have good food to eat. We have place to live, and we have such great freedom. We have total great conditions. So we have to acknowledge this, appreciate, rejoice as mentioned, and practice Dharma to help others. Look at, as here mentioned, the suffering like other countries are so immense. So now cannot control. See, so look at this mess, the suffering there. So to just look at that and then develop such a strong bodhicitta, compassion. Not just this moment. Samsara is a long way. So we have come from billions and billions of years, and we'll go forward billions and billions of years, you see. And we have to practice the bodhicitta, help others, benefit others. So this kind of wisdom, awareness should go everywhere, that everybody now understand this. So avoid the 10 non-virtues everywhere. So, 10 non-virtue is not a Buddhist concept. It's not a Buddhism. It's a cause of suffering everywhere. No. And 10 virtues are the cause for peace and happiness everywhere. And then it becomes the foundation for the enlightenment. It's all our, you see, whatever you practice, Vinaya, Sutra, Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana, any practice you do, these are the foundation. Avoiding 10 non-virtues, practicing the 10 virtues. And they are the foundation to born in the Pure Land, for the Amitabha Pure Land. You know? So then Buddha Amitabha said, Buddha Amitabha will remain until the end of samsara. To sentient beings to free from samsara. Because has cultivated bodhicitta to all the sentient beings, like other Buddhas, like Buddha Shakyamuni, will remain in the samsara until the end of samsara. So we have to make our own contribution. We have to follow our way to practice. This is just about Buddha Amitabha. All the detailed practice will explain, teach by our resident great teacher in Boston. Everybody should look forward for that. Then last one is medicine Buddha. Ruala. Oh, medicine Buddha, same thing, what is the medicine Buddha is mentioned here, you see, all us other same thing, but it's mentioned, I praise and prostrate to medicine Buddha, who radiates the light of the Vidya jewel. Exalted one, your compassion permeates all beings, dispelling the suffering of the lower realms, you see, lower realms, and the sickness of the three portions by mere hearing of your name. I see. So that's medicine Buddha. There's two medicine, you see. The substance, the material medicine. And there's a wisdom and compassion medicine. See, both are designed to heal. The material substance, a medicine made from these, it heals the body. Like say, when you have stomach pain, you take the medicine and it heals your stomach pain or headache, and so forth. And then there is a bodhicitta medicine. When you have mental conflict, anger, the outer medicine cannot help. but that bodhicitta can heal your mental problem, anger. So you should understand that. So medicine Buddha is the manifestation of the Buddha Shakyamuni. And then talked about the medicine at that time. Audience gathered by Buddhists, non-Buddhists, all different beings. So Ayurveda in Indian, the language they say, and men medicine in Tibet. So we need also physical healing. So these medicines, herbal, all the herbs, you can collect all the different types of herbs, plants, trees, rocks, dusts. Everything can be made into medicine. See, at the time of Buddha, there's a history, Buddha met one very famous doctor. He was so famous about the medicine. So he thought there's no one exists who's wiser than himself about the medicine. So then one day, Buddha and he made a journey towards the Himalaya. First, he spoke all about the plants which goes to the medicine. Then there are few he could not recognize. He could not tell what that will help. So then Buddha explained, this will go to this medicine. This will go to this medicine. So all his pride, arrogance dissolve into emptiness. Because Buddha spoke all the details about the medicines. So in the herbal medicine, if you have enough wisdom, expert, everything can be used as a medicine. Rocks, dust, everything, grass, So this, because our body is made from 4 elements, So all this plant, trees, rocks, everything are within the 4 elements. There's no anything that exists out of 4 elements. You see, so because of that, when you have enough wisdom, everything can make into medicine. So medicine Buddha has that kind of wisdom, skill, see. So we take the medicine as the blessings of the medicine Buddha. That's why I say, see, it's mentioned, you see, all the sickness, you see. So now all this sickness come from the 3 poison, our ignorance and desire, attachment, and aversion. These 3 poison, they are the root cause of all the mental afflictions. They are called phlegm disease, become lethargy, unclear, physically feeling heavy. A lot of problem comes from there. It's called phlegm disease. That's because of our ignorance. And then that's called bile, the bile disease. It's come from the anger. And that's called wind disease, wind disorder. It's a wind disorder comes from the desire, attachment. So this first is three. Then they combine each other. No, the flame disorder with the wind, with the fire, so forth. All three together, or two together. Then there's like 404 different types of diseases created. Or means we get sick from these. And a very expert doctor who can diagnose all this, can see it very precisely. And then the doctor can give the medicine to each of these things. But this is just physical treatment. No. But really to purify, we have to take care of our three mental poisons. You see, this, so there's here mentioned, who radiates the light of the Vendura jewel to all the sentient beings. You see, Vendura jewel is a knowledge, is such a precious jewel, diamond. So this is just a metaphor for bodhicitta. When you practice bodhicitta, then you have all the healing power. So the doctor in Tibetan, they're saying, doctor who has a great bodhicitta, the medicines are very effective. The doctors who are very aggressive, selfish, the medicine doesn't work so well, you know. You can see in the clinic, you know, the doctors, some are very kind, you know, very kind and looking after the patient well, you know, it gives you advice, what can I do, like these things. The patient feels so good, you know, and at that moment, the patient feels so light, get benefit, you see. And doctors who are like treating you are like a thing, you know. Then the medicine doesn't work and you feel bad, you know. You feel worse sometimes, you know. So the body, the mind, you see how the mind works, how the mind is powerful. So that's how Buddha taught, you see. First, how to cultivate bodhicitta and purify the three poisons. The three poisons, the root cause of suffering everywhere, you see. It's not just a Buddhist. It's not a Buddhism, okay? It's the reality nature of the whole, everywhere. People who have more three poisons will suffer more. People who have less three poison, there's less suffering. So we have to understand this and practice this, you know. So there's, you know, exalted one, your compassion permeates all beings, you see. The Buddha's compassion, the medicine Buddha's compassion permeates everywhere. And then says, dispelling the suffering of the three realms. See, not just Buddha go there and get rid of this suffering, you know. If Buddha can, of course, Buddha will do that, no doubt. But through the teachings. So these are the cause of the three lower realms. You must stop creating these causes. So we should understand that, practice that. Not just next life, there's some, even this life, you see, there's some people who are so angry, you know, aggressive all the time. They are like in the hell realm. They're suffering so much. living in such beautiful place, and their experience like in the hell realm, so much, they cannot appreciate, they cannot rejoice, So look at this, So that's why practice bodhicitta, rejoice, develop compassion to all others, and say then, in the mentally, by these practices, you send the light. Is practice your bodhicitta. It's a method. So when you meditate, medicine Buddha, from medicine Buddha, light radiate to all the 6 realms and purify all the cause of suffering. You meditate, all the session beings are healed, both body and the mind. Physically, they are better. Mentally, the mind is more clear. You chant the mantra and do these practices. You see? Then you say, so Buddha, here is mentioned, by the mere hearing of your names, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, like Chandrasik, the Bodhisattva of compassion, even hearing my name helps those beings to free from the suffering and cause of suffering. So all the Buddhas have cultivated that mind and practice. By seeing me, may they connect to Buddhahood. By hearing my name, they may connect to free from samsara and achieve enlightenment. So in that way, they practice for eons and eons and eons, you see. So these are the practices that these great Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they have practiced. So this is how briefly I just mentioned. And as I mentioned, details will explain our resident teacher, Lama Sonam. He's expert on this, you see. and today, everybody, now I have the audience from Malaysia, from Chile, from Vietnam, and from many other places, and of course from the United States, and I can see from California and Arizona, and all from, especially the Boston area, because Lama Sonam resides in Boston. Now here's a very good center. He's going to make a good center. So support him, So we need to support each other, help each other, make Dharma. Main purpose is our Dharma, you see, not the house, but the Dharma. You see, the wisdom of Buddha, that impartial to every sentient beings, and taught us, appreciate that, rejoice that, and then you yourself feel so good about this. I'm so fortunate, you see. Make happy yourself. Nobody can make you happy but by yourself. But the way you do, there are some people make a big mess and they become so happy, and the wrong way to be happy, you see. We have a good reason to be happy practicing Dharma, bodhicitta, and we have also been from Florida as well. So, like that. So I hope it's really helpful for your participation, and just continue Dharma practice, appreciate and rejoice, and dedicate, not just only for this life, but dedicate for enlightenment. Dedicate to achieve Buddhahood. Not just only yourself, but dedicate for all the sentient beings. May everybody can achieve Buddhahood by this my simple practice. So a drop of water, if you throw in the ocean, until the ocean is exhausted, that drop of water will not disappear, will stay with that water, ocean, you see? So make your life beautiful by practicing bodhicitta, dharma, no? So it's dharma practice, as I mentioned, is how to make a better life, making less mistake, doing better for oneself and for all others, you know? And thank you everybody for your participation. Any questions you have?
Yes, I have one.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you talk about like non-duality, when you get to the emptiness and there's nothing that exists, and that we are all a unity and we are none at all, does that mean we don't really exist? Is that in our mind somewhere else?
That, as I mentioned, step by step, you follow the path step by step. Then you realize you exist in the non-existence. Okay. Yeah, that's you exist in the non-existence. That's called non-duality, okay?
Rinpoche, I don't have a question. I just want to say thank you so much for this precious teachings. This is a video to watch and rewatch. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm so happy you are there, really. That's what we need in Dharma, you see, As I mentioned, I try to share from my very limited understanding of Buddha's teaching, but I try to share sincerely because Dharma is so precious. And everyone is so precious. You see, all the sentient beings are so precious. When they are suffering, so we feel no pain, there's so much pain in the heart. But what we can do, so even the leader of the country become helpless, They are lost, they don't know what to do. When everybody is just blamed to them, so you are the leader and you are doing this and that. Yeah. So Dharma is there, but everybody don't understand the Dharma, you see. That's the problem. So you have to make it happen. Make it happen. Yes. On the whole.
Why? Ow. Party. Hagen.
I want to say thank you everybody for your participation.
Yes, and Khenchen Rinpoche, Colorado misses you.
Yes, Scott.
Yes.
What happened?
everything.
Everything. Including your lunch.
Lunch and nap comes later.
Yes. Yes, we'll see you. We'll see you.
You too. Come back to Colorado. We miss you.
Yes, we'll see you. Now, please take a deep breath. Inhale fully. Exhale.
Thank you, Rinpoche, so much, and thank you, everyone, especially dear Linda, and the helping also other people. They helping together, and thank you, Rinpoche. You are the very unique, no attendant, no translator, fully understanding all the meditation experience and the scholar dialogue and all those things. We are so fortunate. This morning, the 134 the good karmic devoted student participation. Now, understanding some of the Asia is very late, some already go to sleep. So we have here still 104 people. And I'm also on behalf of all the students, thank you for your teachings. Please continue. So traditional way, I will refer to the mandala offering. Everyone, if you have the DMC prayer book in page 20, I will not much take time. It's very quicker. No, bolan joy, 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 shardulu dalu joy, flora, ngayo, gangayo, shay, lurdo, yonte, dalam, jodoy, sandu, dominion, dominion, jim, boy, shumbo, jay, bosom, jishin,
Don't joy, Mama,
Rinpoche, Norway Rinpoche, Lomo Rinpoche, Lombo Rinpoche, Lombo Rinpoche, Tacho Rinpoche, Labo Rinpoche, Darshan Boye, Kumboy, Kubomoy, Kubomoy, Nemo, Ramoy, Megomoy, Dubomoy, Lansemoy, Tejamoy, Niman Dawai Rinpoche, Doi Chole Nambraje, Nandake Uzol Hadami, Benjoro Puzon Sawa, Matawa Mewai, Shingam Nambra Tapandi, Wishi Yishi Ngayi Dani, Tsome Bandan Lama, Tonje Ledo, Zanlemon, Khenchen Konchog Gyaltsen Rinpoche, Be, Sambo Shengane, Tikba Chimbo, Chuguruk, Tangrake Yondo Mbora Jiwo, Idu Chendrabe Tondo Shis, Shina Chenji Loi Du Soi, Sashi Buju Chushe Medo Dam, Ravlin Shi Nyende Jambandi, Rugo Namda Shindu Jo Barai Shoi, Usum Yonzo Lama Sonam Lai, Chinasas, Dishini Jichu, Dalu Longchu, Nasi Yongshin, Lami Chojing, Rubzedo Soi, Changze, Wada Chujin Shokwadan, Jisu Yirang Kushin Sowai, Dedication, first the long life, or 78. Kanri Rawe Gove Shengamso, Benda Dewa Molu, Jove, Jere, Senwa, Dinzi, Yat, Shove, Debot, Danger, Jay, Punjo, Ranjin, Sumji, Woni, Jeden, Zimbo, Juve, Begaracha, Tungun, Sambo, Jinji, Sim, Jinu, Ge jara shabdin sho kunjo sumje denba zimbala ngage wanju jizun jambe yang tubden renjen romen din ge jara shabdin sho. Page 92, Khenchen Rinpoche's long life. Hoi shumma tuwe norji pechun shin samda gombe rari nyaji do jeden sudrum gombe jenzet Khenchen Konchog Gyaltsen Rinpoche. Page 70, short dedication. Hoi sonam diye tamje Omnam yewe ranam pamje de yega naji balon chukwa siwe zolen rowan rowara sho chanjuk semjo rinpoche maji panam jijir jiba nyamba meba konne kundu bewara sho jambe bawu chidara kemba ta kundu sangpo tenya deshin teda jesu dalo jir gyawan de da tamje rabdo o sanje kusum nyebe chenlo tunyi dembe chenlo da gendu me jin debe chen she molom jowara isho
Tata konde tam jeje dusumdo sabada yebe geve sav.
Badang Samjen Tamje Nyurdo Lana Me Yanda Bazogwe Janju Rumba Je Dawara Juro Je. Thanks again, everyone. Someone can send maybe the Zoom ID in the chat. So Rinpoche just mentioned, of course, I don't have any qualified, but we do the medicine Buddha Tara in Amitabha 1 month. And then another month will continue if you have time, morning and evening. So twice, and maybe then Zooms and Facebook. And meanwhile, thank you, Rinpoche, so much. And please take care of Rinpoche's health and near future, and keep in us continue teaching.
You're welcome.
You.
Thank you, thank you.
Chiche, kuche shebet, tambasho, rinpoche.
Long life.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Stay safe. Take care.
Thank you, Lama.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you.
Gracias, Lama.
Bye, Chair.
Thank you, Lama.
Lama Sonam.
Obrigada, Rinpoche, Lama Sonam.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lama.
everyone.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you so much.
Turn Lopa.
Thank
you,
Linda. Okay, thank you.